What's good, everyone? It's Ken Deasy here, your plug for fantasy football knowledge. My last video was about quarterbacks, why drafting one early can be super beneficial for your team, because a good quarterback on your fantasy team gives you 15 to 25 points before you even have to worry about the rest of your roster. I think we have to assess Jalen Hurts' draft stock going into the season, because after last year, in a season where if he didn't miss those 2 games, we probably would be talking about him as the number one fantasy quarterback on the season and probably the league's MVP. He is now in the elite dual threat category with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Let's look at Jalen Hurts' ADP from 2021, so the year before last year. This was the year he got the starting job. On ESPN platform, he was being drafted as the 11th quarterback off the board behind names like Tom Brady, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford. And this is his ADP from the start of this season after he threw for those 16 passing touchdowns and had 10 rushing touchdowns last season. He jumped all the way from 11 to the 6th quarterback being taken off the board in ESPN platform. The reason why some quarterbacks have such high ADP is because they can provide just as much rushing value as they can provide value with their arms. As you can see here, Jalen Hurts had 10 finishes inside the top 5, and at least 6 of those 10 finishes he had 1 rushing touchdown. 2 of those other games he had 3+ passing touchdowns. So if you have a dual threat quarterback on your fantasy team, you are probably putting up more points than the latter. Now, every quarterback in the league can run, but I wouldn't describe every quarterback as a rushing quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a rushing quarterback for sure. But let's look at some of the other rushing quarterbacks and what happened to them this season and why they could drop down in your fantasy draft. What's going to happen with Lamar coming off of his PCL injury? He might want to run less. The Ravens also hired a new offensive coordinator. That's something to look out for. Kyler Murray just tore his ACL, so he won't be around for maybe half of the season. And then when he comes back, will he be 100% committed to rushing? Who knows? And even though I think guys like Daniel Jones and Justin Fields can provide great rushing value that you don't have to necessarily spend a 2nd or 3rd round pick on, it just comes down to Jalen Hurts' arm talent and the offense around him. It's too talented. He is in a prime position to put up fantasy juggernaut numbers once again this season. Would you still want Jalen Hurts on your fantasy team if it's costing you a 1st or 2nd round pick? Let me know what you think.